everyone, and welcome to the finale, well, the first quest in the finale of the Ivalice Stormblood questline, raid, stuff, story, new outfit. Even though I don't really use samurai, it's an awesome outfit. Let's do this. I'm actually really excited for this. I mean, because I'm always excited for the new raids. The path of most resistance. The worried look on Lena Mew Mew suggests she bears grave tidings. Or not. Greetings and salutations, Alex. I suppose you're wondering whether or not the good Genomus has finally determined where in the world our next adventure is to take place. I guess? The good news is, yes. The bad news, however... now, while it is not my nature to be sentimentalist... Wait, sensationalist? Sensationalism is in my job description. So, please bear with me while I tell you not all is right aboard the airship Lexingale. Something about Alma has me deeply worried. I would not trust this information in the hands of my publisher, let alone some sullen gate guard. Shall we continue our conversation on the Prima Vista, away from inquisitive ears? That's not the voice I gave you last time. It's a voice like this. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's close enough. Don't know why I always give female McCourties that type of voice. Oh no, you're there. Anything to say? Principal Genomus claims to have learned much from his continued study of the Durai papers. Still, he appears to be frustrated at the lack of information crucial to solving the mystery. Alright, let's get up there. To the Prima Vista! Do 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 do. The question is then, where exactly did Ramza and his fellowship journey next? Ah, Alexander! To what do we owe this unexpected visit? I had not planned on summoning you for another several turns of the sun. I apologize if we have caused you any worry. I suppose one cannot allow a reporter in the midst and not expect her to report what she sees. Though I did expect a tad more discretion from Miss Mew Mew. I know it's Mewlaria or something like that, but whatever. Alma has, as of late, been experiencing difficulties with her health. Surgeons have been called upon to discern what exactly it is that ails her. But as far as they can tell, there is nothing physically wrong with my sister. The consensus is the rigors of an extended stay in a foreign land have taken their toll on her frigid heart. Or fragile, not frigid. Totally opposite thing. Ah, speak of the devil. Alexander, when did you... Alma! I'm fine, brother. It is obvious that you are not. You must return to your chambers and rest. Forgive me. Perhaps we shall speak again once I regain my strength. Until then, please look after my father. Now then, where were we? Ah, yes, the matter of our next expedition. As we discovered during our most recent foray into the... is that Estersans? The Dalmascan capital of Monastery appears to lie upon the ruins of what can only be the royal city of Lassalia, ancient capital of the lost kingdom of Ivalice. Shortly after, we stumbled across remnants of the legendary clockwork city of Gorge, I can still not remember how you pronounce that, cleverly repurposed into a lighthouse overlooking the Vidarana Cataract. Remnants which now sit suspended above the fathomless chasm. Lassalia, Gorge. Gorge. I'm calling it Gorge because it was machinery and whatever. What have they in common, you ask? I shall tell you. They both appear in my ancestors' account of the rise of Ivalice, the Durai papers. And with each new discovery, this forbidden chronicle is now proving Ivalician legend to be more fact than fairy tale. There is no denying the proof, and it is but a matter of time before scholars and historians from across the realm come to see the same conclusions. But as you are all aware, my aim has never been to simply prove the existence of Ivalice. No, no, no. I shall not rest till I have revealed the truth of young Rams's role in King Dilata's ascension, and cleared my ancestor, Orandurai, of the false accusations made against him by the church. Now what are we waiting for? Should we not see to Alma first? No! Then what are we waiting for? That noise? Fist pump! Come on, do the fist pump. Ah, boring. I have a possible destination in mind. Arriving there safely, however, is another matter. To that end, I have enlisted the aid of our company's newest members. Despite my pleas to do otherwise, who knows what trouble those two will see us in. Oh wait, no. Despite my pleas to do otherwise, who knows what trouble those two will see us into. Don't be a Moogle racist. Now, I must admit, both Mont Blanc and his brother have proven more useful than I would ever have dared to imagine. When it comes to usefulness, I am first in the field. Or was it furthest in the field? Would you like to feel my fur, Cabot? And you wonder why Ramsay despises you so, brother? They do all the work, and all you do is just Cabot. But you are mistaken, Herdy. I bear neither of you nor your brother any ill will. Well, any further ill will, that is. If anything, I owe you my thanks for your recent contributions. I do have my odd suspicions about him. His thanks? Are you hearing what I'm hearing? What happened to the venom-spitting adder we all used to know and hate? Well, that venom-spitting adder may have been infected with an aurosite containing the original Ramza. Arbor certainly seems pleased with the change, but forgive me for not borrowing this all too convenient transformation. Simply showing the world that Ivalice actually existed will not validate the claims chronicled in the Durai papers. That is correct, Father. The key lies with Ramza Beorv. If we can find evidence of his hidden role in history, it will prove Aran's testimony true and safeguard our family name from ridicule. Which is why I turned the focus of my research to Delita's forgotten companion and its actions during the War of the Lions. It is only then I discovered something most intriguing. An underlying struggle with an unknown force. A force with the power to bring about calamitous ruin. Orosite. The twisted abominations we encountered in both Lassalia and Gorge. The Lucavi. They are born of these unholy crystals. While nobles of the north and south squabble over Ivalice's crown, Ramza silently sought to rid the world of a dark evil. Evil manifest from the deepest desires of men and women, whose minds had fallen prey to the Orosite. And with each confrontation did Ramza's fellowship grow smaller. Countless companions lost to a cause that would go unwritten, yet was far more important than any clash of armies. And so did they endure, until reaching their final destination, the Ahlborn Monastery. Oh, I know this one! The Ahlborn Monastery is where Princess Ivalice was raised. There's a scene about it in the Zodiac Brave story. After Delita emerged victorious from his final campaign, he married the princess to legitimize his claim to the throne of Ivalice. Ah, I see someone has been paying attention. But I don't understand. Why would Ramza's crusade against the Lucavi take him back there? According to the Durai papers, the sinister being engendered? Sure, who engendered the Orosite was said to have slumbered beneath the monastery. Huh. But who or what would have the means to create something so powerful? Ultima, the High Seraph. A seraph? What's a seraph? Seraphs are believed by some to be servants of the gods, divine beings whose only purpose is to carry out the will of their immortal masters. As to whether or not Ultima can claim this title, however, I cannot say. Just as there were those who chose to worship Ultima and her otherworldly might, there were equally as many who feared the Visitor and her deadly magics, oft referring to her as an angel of blood, for the carnage left in her wake. Interesting. What if the spell Alexander claims to have experienced in the Praetorium, coincidentally also called Ultima, was in fact an elegant interpretation of the very magics introduced to Hydaelyn by the High Seraph? But that would mean... What would that mean? I have spoken with several colleagues back in Charlian regarding their opinions on the ancient incantation, and while they yet have little to show for their research, they all agree on one thing: the manner in which Ultima ethereally manifests should not be possible, at least on Hydaelyn. So it would naturally make sense if we discovered that the Allagans learned the spell from a being not of this dimensional plane. As to exactly how they convinced this being to impart the knowledge to it, onto them. Not this plane? What manner of creature are we talking about then? Or here? Oh my god, I'm getting all these words wrong. Likely one similar to Omega. How long have you been listening from the shadows, my friend? Long enough. I'm here to deliver the item Mikoto requested. Sid, there was no need for you to deliver it personally. A Moogle would have sufficed. A Moogle? And trust that he won't tear open the package and show it to some random adventurer? No, this was far too important. Yes, no Moogle would ever do that post-quest. If you two do not mind, the principal was about to tell us how to find the Ahlborn Monastery. Oh, would that I could. You don't know? Oh, what have we been doing here? At ease, Lady Mew Mew. The Jurai papers speak of a cataract. Cataract? Situated on the river... How would you pronounce that? Zershell? Zershell. Several leagues southeast of Monastery. There supposedly lies the monastery. Zershell is not a name you will find on any modern Dalmascan map. Rivers, however, especially ones as large as this Zershell is established to be, are rare in a nation more than half claimed by the sand. The river we seek can only be the one which bisects Gulmore and the Nashan border. And for that invaluable information, we owe thanks to our brothers Moogle. Their travels have made them veritable authorities on Dalmascan geography, which is interesting because, yeah, they did say that the Evalician Moogles, or Dalmascan or whatever they called them when they were talking about them, were desert dwellers and they were like nomadic. So this actually makes a lot of sense that they'd know about that. Wait, well, you claimed you didn't know the monastery's whereabouts. I'm confused. Well, we know roughly where it is, we don't know exactly where it is. Its location is not what concerns me, but perhaps the Moogles themselves should explain. Well, certainly! That verdant valley of vines and vipers, to where we must voyage next, is home to the Vera. No, wait, it's Vera. Vera? I always call them Vera. And therein lies our little problem. The one thing the Vera do not suffer is trespassers. Not even lovable Moogles, Cabot. Old Clammies kept us hidden long enough to see the jungle was teeming with ruins, much like those we discovered in Lesalian Gorge. But the Vera trackers eventually found us and took us before their elders. We barely escaped with our bombs, Cabot. Oh God. 1 second, need drink. Ah, das ist gut, ja. So that is why we're still here talking instead of bound for the border. There are Vera who have spurned the strict code of their tribes, abandoning their people to come and live in the cities of Dalmasca. Finding and recruiting one to our cause might provide us with insight into how to reach the Ahlborn Monastery ruins. Unfortunately, the nation's current turmoil has not made it easy to accomplish this task. We still require more time. Before boarding the shuttle here, I was stopped by a banga on the docks. He asked me if I knew a Alexander Ballius, and bid I deliver him a message. I told him he was welcome to accompany me to the Prima Vista, so that he might deliver the message himself, but the man refused. Mikoto, I saw this device crafted to your exact specifications, but cannot guarantee that it will function as intended, seeing as I had nary a subject to test it on. Of course, Master Sid. If any trouble is met, then most likely it is my design that is to blame. Your confidence in my craftsmanship is flattering, but you sell yourself too short, my dear. Here's to your success. Good day. Don't leave, Sid. Wait a minute, didn't you have a message to pass on to me? I'm confused. Sid! Okay. There is no question that Ivalice once stood atop the lands we now call Dalmasca. But with the passage of time, have remnants of those eras past faded beyond recognition. If only the great library at Ahlborn Monastery still stood. My knowledge is limited, but if there is aught you wish to ask. Oh my god, there's so much to ask. Ramza Delita, as I believe I have explained before, the hero Ramza Beov and the Pope became King Delita Heral were the closest of companions throughout most of their adolescence. Ramza was the youngest son of House Beov, an old and respected bloodline of warriors. Delita was the son of farmers in service to the Beovs. Naturally, one mightn't expect the two paths with such different backgrounds to cross, but fate chose to intervene. When Delita's parents fall victim to a terrible plague, Ramza's father takes the orphan boy and his sister into his home and raises them as his own. I'm sure that we've read this before. Sensing greatness, he puts him in the royal military with Ramza. Tragedy befalls them. Noble children from across the realm are being abducted by a radical faction of dissident knights and ransomed to their families. Amongst those kidnapped is Delita's only sister, Tietra, mistaken to be one of high birth for her place at Barboneth Beov's table. Or at least so they thought. Turns out the whole affair is a plot set in motion by a petty noble by the name of Argus Thedalphus. Yes, the very course you encountered deep within the ruins of Thessalia. You see, Argus and Delita were classmates at the Academy with a K, yet the former despised the latter, jealous of the base-born upstart who was always first to his class, from swordsplay to letters. And so Argus approached the Renegade Knights and tells them of Ramza's sister, only instead of describing Alma's features, he gave them Tetras, that they might kidnap his true rival's kin. Well, and they do. However, when the commander overseeing the rescue effort of these noble children learns that it is not Alma, but Tetra they have taken, he abandons all attempts of peaceful exchange with the brigands, refusing to waste valuable resources on a mere commoner. Ramza and Delita plead with the officer to reconsider, but the order to storm the knight's hideout and burn it to the ground and carry out with but the order to storm the knight's hideout and burn it to the ground are carried out with cool precision. Alright. The mission is a success, and the dissidents, including Argus, are slain to the man. But so too is poor Tietra. Having learned the true worth of his blood, Delita leaves both the Academy with a K and his friend Ramza behind to forge a new path, one that would ultimately lead to war. 5 summers will pass before the two meet again. Jesus. According to my ancestors' writing, Tietra's passing did not only serve to shape Dilita, but Ramza as well. Ramza was possessed of 2 older brothers, both who had built reputations for themselves as fearless and cunning warriors, worthy of the Beowulf name. However, soon after the raid that sees Tietra slain, Ramza learns of his brother's involvement in the affair. The shock upon realizing his own kin's disdain for the common man is too much to bear, and Ramza abandons his duty as son of House Beowulf, choosing instead to consign himself to a life of wayfaring. It's while serving a band of mercenaries that he meets Aran Durai. Aran, adoptive son of General Sidolphus Orlandur, the Cid, is tasked by his father to discover the identity of those truly behind the War of the Lions, though what he discovers will mark him for life. Orlandur was long an enemy of House Beowulf, but the general had always been a proponent of peace. On many an occasion did he attempt to stave the hands of conflict by providing resolutions that would benefit both sides, only to find his efforts thwarted by a force unseen. Throughout all this, the church maintained its neutrality, openly refusing to endorse either order. Yet this was little more than a facade. The truth was they silently wielded their influence over both sides, seeking to draw out the war that the armies might grow ever weaker. It was during this time the church began its search for the Zodiac Stones, or what we now know as the Orosite. Their aim is to gain the support of the war-weary smallfolk by dangling the promise of peace delivered by legendary warriors descended from the heavens, the Zodiac Braves. Orandarai suspects the plot might bring great harm to the realm, but he lacks the proof he requires to implicate the church in any wrongdoing. When all hope is nearly lost, Aran encounters Ramza, already branded a heretic by the church for his discovery of several of the clergy's inconvenient truths, and learns that together they might be able to make a difference, for Ramza holds a shard of Orosite. Threatened by Ramza's actions, but unable to successfully subdue the young man, or his Orosite, the church turns their attention to Sidolphus Orlandur, and condemns the general as they did Ramza in a ploy to drive him from the kingdom. This betrayal by the church only serves to embolden Sidolphus, and it is not long before he joins Ramza and his son in their efforts to prevent the Orosite's blight from spreading further. My god, there's so much text. It's like, there's a lot of like information here, which is technically tactics information. It's, oh my god, it's like such a lore dump. While Delita wages war for all to see, Ramza remained hidden, choosing to deal with the Lucavi from the shadows. When the tiny fellowship was not hunting the horrors spawned by the holy stones, they were hounded by knights and brigands, set upon them by the church. Yet despite this, Ramza oft found his thoughts returning to his old friend, Delita. Now an intelligencer with the Order of the Southern Sky, Delita had not forgotten about his childhood companion, learning of both Ramza's troubles and the church's schemes soon after joining the Order. He could not, however, come to Beowulf's aid. Heiral had proven himself a capable warrior and a charismatic leader, and was using his momentum to silently orchestrate a play for Ivalice's throne. If he were to openly oppose the church, it would prove disastrous. Ramza, though, had already been branded a heretic. Through Ramza, Delita might freely raise his sword against the church without consequence to himself, as long as their allegiance remained unknown. Now one might view this as the future king simply using his companion to see his own desire to fruition, while even Oran himself opines on the matter in his papers. However, both Delita and Ramza were quick to recognize that as long as the blight engendered by the Auracite was allowed to spread unchecked, that true peace would never be realized. Their solution was ingenious. Delita took his place on the field of battle to bring an end to the War of the Lions, while Ramza took to the shadows to excise the otherworldly cankers that befouled the realm from within. I'm only half done. The dry papers tell us that the Ahlborn Monastery overlooks a grand cataract on a river known as the Seychelles. The building was allegedly ancient in Oran's time. No record as to exactly when or by whom it was constructed. We do know, however, that the buildings had deep ties with the Atkasha dynasty, rulers at the time of the War of the Lions, and was oft used by the royal family to house prisoners, before finally being converted into a place of worship, a tradition that seemingly continued even after the conversion. Aran writes that Princess Ovelia Atkasha, the last rightful heir to the Evolution throne, was confined to the cloister for much of her young life before her eventual marriage to Delita. Yet through the Cenobites at Ahlborn, whatever, were part of a contemplative order within the Church of Glabados. They remained oddly exempt from the High Confessor's authority. Now you may ask, if Ahlborn was a monastery, then why was Ovelia, a girl, admitted? Well, it appears early scholars may have misinterpreted an important term. In ancient Evalician, the word for monastery and convent are the same. However, seeing as Ahlborn was inhabited not by monks but by nuns, it would have been better suited had the word been rendered as abbey, which itself is more encompassing. In addition to their daily prayer, these nuns crafted ales and wines from ingredients grown on their land, and sold them to desert townships that lacked ready access to potable water. While the Jurite papers indicate the monastery, or abbey, as Ramza's final destination before his disappearance, it does not state why his journey was to take him there. Considering that Oran actually accompanied Ramza on his quest, it is hard to believe that the chronicler would not know, leading me to believe that there was reason for this omission, one that I believe would unlock this entire mystery, which is basically going to be Ultima. The Golmore jungle is an endless swathe of pristine emeralds situated in the southeastern corner of Dalmasca, on the Nangshan border. The hot and humid climes of the region have given rise to nigh impenetrable expanse of towering sentinels and noisome bogs in which all manner of flora and fauna is allowed to flourish without interference of man. Our very own Mont Blanc, however, claims that on his short traipse through the region, he stumbled upon numerous ruins of unknown origin. From what we have learned from our own research and expeditions, I would surmise that these sites are somehow connected to ancient Ivalice. While it is true that the Jurite papers make no mention of a jungle the likes of Golmore, more than 1,000 summers have passed since my ancestors penned this chronicle. Any number of things could have given rise to a marked change in the environment. Even one of your calamities, perhaps. Well, I suppose it wouldn't account for the desert, but we have had the Great Flood, which is one calamity that would give more plant life, potentially, like in the wake of it. And one couldn't speak of Gulmore without mentioning its enigmatic inhabitants. As you know, the rainforest is also home to the Vera, self-proclaimed guardians of the wood, which sound already very similar to the people of Gridania. Though those who claim that title count themselves fewer with each coming spring, as more and more of the Leperine abandon their ancestral homes for the comforts of the cities. Still, the Vera continue their adherence to a strict code that has governed their people since the age of Ivalice. None may enter their jungle, and none may leave. To the Vera, Gulmore is sacred ground, and they will not suffer what they view as desecration of their sovereign domain by outsiders. This is especially true for those who would dare hunt their lands. I would one day wish to see her ruins with my own eyes, but without the consent of those who call the jungle home, I fear the day may never come. Come on, one left. We can do this. Come on. Very little is known of the High Seraph, other than that it was she who created the Orosite and scattered its shards across Heidelberg. As for if the entity be angel or demon, well, that depends on which fairy tale you choose to believe. Although after witnessing the terror of the Lokavi firsthand, it is difficult to imagine that one truly pure of heart would design something that might give rise to such evil. That said, it appears the Orosite itself contains no evil. The stones merely serve as an amplifier of sorts for the desires of those who come into their possession. If that desire is one swollen fat with rage, one of dominance or revenge, then it is made manifest as a Lokavi. Such was the case with Argath and Begaman. Conversely, if the wielder's intentions are just, then they are rewarded with what can only be described as miracles. Legend provides us with countless tales of the Zodiac Braves granting succor to those wounded or even fallen in battle. Perhaps this is why history cannot decide on the alignment of the stones as creator. If the being truly hails from some other plane of existence, as Mikoto suggests, then we would be fools to think she might be beholden to the same values we hold dear. We're done. 1 second, which I'll skip past, is me taking a quick breather break from that. And a stretch. Alright. Purdy, have you got 17 things to say? I have no issue with Rams's unexpected change of heart. Just how it actually came about. I fear it might be the Orosite playing with his art capote. Oh, you're Hurdy, not Mont Blanc.
I'd say it's a surge of ether. The precise moment he came into contact with the necklace. Though that surge has since passed about.
Both Mont Blanc and his brother Hurdy have proved invaluable to our expedition. I owe them my thanks. And I suppose an apology. I admit when they first arrived, I was very wary of their ability to contribute to the cause. However, over the past moons, they have done their damnedest to prove me wrong. I used to believe that we Garleans were inherently better than, well, everyone else. I suppose part of me still does. It was what I was raised to believe. It is what all Garlean children are. Only now I have begun to realize the fool I was. Our exile here has forced me to face the arrogance that has controlled me my whole life. And what I found was that I was simply frightened of change, frightened of admitting I was weak. And so I lashed out, and I am sorry that you, Mont Blanc, Boggy and the others had to suffer. Alright, so this is interesting for two things. One, it is highly possible that the aura sight is influencing him. But there has been a lot of off-camera stuff happened, like the Moogle going and searching and finding, potentially, the Ahlborn Monastery. Or at least where it could be. So there is reason for Ramza to actually, like, be more appreciative of them.
You won't believe this, but since our time together in the Clockwork City, Ramza and I have grown inseparable. Why I consider him a closer companion now than even my good brother Herdy. Just don't let Herdy know that, Cabot. Something is obviously very wrong with poor Alma. And why her father doesn't seem to pay her condition much mind is something we should all be wary of.
Makoto, you, all those engines, nah, nothing exciting. Oh, the muscle, my friend, why is the hurry? There is little in the world more important than a chest of steel, unless it's calves of granite. Oh yeah, look at me do this. Would you care to join me for a few thousand lunges? Your body will thank you in the morning. As for your lover, ah, ha, ha, ha. Where is it? Where is it? Where's the squats? He's so much faster than me! Look at the speed! Look at the style! Look at the stance! Look at the power! The muscles! The calves! Anywho. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's ignore that. Ah! From that angle I thought for some reason he was like actually not sitting but was like... Never mind. At first we thought Alma was merely a tad under the weather. The winds up here can prove quite chilly, but now... I took in a performance at the Mujikaze the other day, and I must say, it was quite an experience. I, of course, had no idea what was going on, but it all sounded brilliant. The local courtesan who accompanied me explained it was a tale of 13 samurai, Ronin, I believe she called them, who embarked on a journey to avenge their slain lord. All in all, it was a bloody affair that ended in the death of everyone save the tiny fellow in charge of the lighting. But the audience were on their feet cheering for more. Principal Genomes claims that the rift twixt any two cultures can be bridged through the telling of tales, though I worry that anyone who would cheer an ignoble death in the service of one already dead will be unable to appreciate what we might offer them here on the Prima Vista. Oh, and I said that out loud, didn't I? How careless of me. Before Sid left, again, he handed me another of his queer contraptions, mumbled something about it being a modified version of the elegant storage suit. Would you care to take a listen? So yeah, basically, what these are for are if you want to read up on things like, well, basically like what I just described, all that stuff from Genomes. Go into Genomes and we can go and read all of the past stuff, which is really nice because there's a very high chance you could miss quite a lot of the stuff if you don't talk to everyone. I did it, friend. I took our principal's words to heart and spent a moon travelling the isles of the Ruby Sea. I eventually ended up on Onokoro, where I was taken in by a merry band of Confederates. What characters they were! We feasted and drank until morning, singing the songs of our people. When the Prima Vista first arrived in Kugane, I told myself I would not let my grief overcome me. I put my head down and concentrated on my craft. It was not until much later that I realized that by paying that grief no heed, I had allowed it to swell like a storm head in winter. But now, I've found I can be happy once again, or at least try to be. Do I have to talk to him? Can I not just skip him? I hate you so much. Yeah, don't care. Alright, Makoto, let's continue. I sense that you are interested in the package Sid delivered. I have every intention to appraise you of its contents, but first I believe we should speak of Alma's condition. Do you not find her illness all too timely? Do you know Miss Ramsar would like to believe that her bouts of vertigo are naught but a result of mind fatigue? Of a mind fatigued, but the answer is clear. It is the auracite that plagues her. Alma recently confided in me that she would hear her father speaking with Osseous, well before even her first foray into Monastery. However, I do not think this entirely true. Which is not to imply that Alma is trying to deceive us. Rather, I think she saw something that led her to believe her father was conversing with the auracite. Moreover, I suspect it was the auracite itself which granted her this vision. You recall my hypothesis on the distinct frequency NRR type harmonic vibrations and their tendency to promote ethereal amplification. Or when I mentioned that despite being in the principal's possession for an extended period, the Osseous exhibited none of the imprinting present in the Juma. No? The Osseous had never resonated with Genimus. It has always been his wife's pendant and its auracite shard, the Virgo, that fueled his passion for Ivalice. No, the Osseous is bound to Alma's deepest desires, whatever those may be. The only reason I can fathom that Alma has not fallen victim to the auracite's grasp is that her desires are not as strong as those we have witnessed in Argath of Begarman. That and the ethereal interference caused by other nearby shards. I have explained all of this to Alma and recommended that she destroy the necklace. Yet not only did she refuse, but she begged me to keep this revelation from her father. And so, I did the only thing I could. I devised a mean by which I might impede, or at least lessen, the effects of the Osseous. This device, while still incomplete, will amplify the NRR wavelength emitted by the Vertigo. Vertigo? The Virgo. This should work to interfere with those emitted by the Osseous, thereby shielding Alma from the brunt of their effects. The sea below is all abuzz with word of a banging brigand loitering about the airship landing. Do you think it could be someone we know, Kabu? No, short music. Alright, see him. Let's go. Waggy! I mean, I totally don't know who it is. I don't have a quest log. Or do I?
Apologies, Alexander. But I needed to speak with you, and you alone. Oh, don't mind me, Kabu. I'll just be floating over here, in perfect earshot. Why, what makes you think I won't lay you low right here, right now? Because we're here to offer you a proposition. That's what. We need information on the Golmore jungle. And though a man as well travelled as you might be persuaded to provide us some. Golmore? You of all creatures should know. That is Fairyland. What are you offering then?
I totally forgot what voice I gave them last time.
Why, the opportunity to tell us what you know. Genomus believes our next adventure lies in the jungle canopy, Kupo.
I should have expected as much. Very well, Alexander. I came here to ask if you would meet someone. Now it seems that someone may be able to assist Genomus as well. Seeing as you and the principal did right by us before, I do not see a reason why I cannot take both of you.
Okay.
Well, that was far easier than I thought it would be, Kupo.
Indeed it was. No, not Kupo Kupo. Baki Kupo.
Let me know when you're ready to depart for Albourne Monastery. We will travel in our airship. The Prima Vista would draw too much unwanted attention.
Sure, let's do it. Ah, good old-fashioned airship.
Your life of brigandry in the clouds, are we?
Of course not. Not that it didn't cross our minds. But when faced with the decision of what to do next, we needed simply to remember the dying words of our leader. Kichuk, Rinok, and I decided to re-enlist as Dalmascan Fusiliers.
And the occupying Garlean actually said yes, Kupo?
Well, not exactly. No, we're now with the resistance. You no doubt heard of the uprising in Dalmasca that followed the Doman liberation, and how it was crushed into the Iron Heel. What's that? Fourth Legion.
I did actually hear about that.
The resistance leaders were captured, tortured, and publicly executed. Yet, much to the Empire's chagrin, the prison display only served to further rally the survivors. Rove 1 ends and 2 grow back in its place. Rove 2, and then there 4. A person can die, but an ideal will live on. Now there exist several factions throughout Dalmasca. We belong to one known as Ladies' Tears. And when we told our commanding officer of our recent crossing with you and yours, she simply insisted that we introduce you.
Kupo? Me? But I wasn't even supposed to be here, Kupo.
Not you, Ahlborn! Him!
Oh, Kupo.
Meet with the General and hear her proposal, Alexander. If you are not interested, we shall return you to Kagani unharmed. You have our
word?
Huh? Where got your tongue?
Monastery! Monastery, dead lads!
I already forgot if this was the voice I gave him. I did. Still smouldering. Good, good. I really hope that this somehow becomes like a city-state or something. It's such wasted potential of it, doesn't it? It looks so good.
This way! We've many miles to cover before nightfall.
I think that was the wrong voice. Ah, it doesn't matter at this point. Oh, the slip and slide. Oh, but who could that long-eared maiden be?
I've done as asked. I brought you the liberator.
And here I thought he'd be taller.
God damn it! Stop asking! Every single time! Oh, nuts. I can't remember what voice. They have Nordic accents, I know that much.
I knew it! A Feyre! I am Fran, proud daughter of Dalmasca and General of Lentestias. And yes, Moogle, I am a Vera. Are you surprised?
That's not even close to the right kind of accent.
Why yes, in fact, I am. Her kind are all supposed to be living amongst the trees, having shunned contact with the outer world about. There are supposedly a few who've left their homes, but I most certainly did not expect to see one here in the sewer. Indeed. This banger claims you seek Ahlborn. Does he speak true?
Yep, he does.
Those ruins lie deep within the Gulmore jungle, a place most sacred to my sisters. They would take great offense were you to defile it with your presence. What is more, Wagi tells me you travel with Gallians, openly aiding those who would see our nation burn. How can we place our trust in one who would do such?
Genomus and her family defected long ago. They are not your enemy. My blade has tasted the blood of too many Gallians to count. I mean, I don't really think that's helping the argument, Alex, but you know. Genomus and his family defected long ago. They're not your enemy. Not all Gallians are evil. Sid is a true testament to that.
A Gallian is a Gallian. Their pathetic attempt at absolution only proves their past guilt.
And Sid is full of guilt.
You misunderstand. Khan Genomus does not approve of the Emperor's warmongering. He wants to help Dalmasca and its impoverished masses about. And what would a Moogle know about my people? Does your blood run Dalmascan red? We could cut you open and find out.
General, there's no need for threats.
You are right, Bwagi. Let us then parley. Parley? Parley. First, the resistance requires... I was doing the Kupo voice. First, the resistance requires men. Men and women from the Eosia and Eastern Alliance to join us in ridding Dalmasca of its imperial invaders. Your past deeds have made you well known to the leaders of both. They will listen to you, or if not, they will listen to these scions to which you claim allegiance. Second, the resistance requires gold. Gold to strengthen our forces from within. Your allies are in bed with the Eastern Aldenad Trading Company, which continues its dealings with Galhard, even as you raise your sword against them. Profiting from the Empire's rampant aggression, as targets of this aggression, I believe my people are entitled to a portion of those profits. Grant me these simple things, and I shall personally guide you safely to the ruins of Ahlborn. And what are the Lexentiles? See me to victory, and I'll take the Emperor himself. These are my conditions. What say you?
I say that you're being so unreasonable that I don't believe it. But I will deliver your crest to the science, but can promise no more. Promise me first my companions will see no harm. Yeah, that.
I will promise you nothing, but if it helps you sleep, know that I have never cut down a man who did not take up arms against me and mine, be he Gallian or Eosian. I'd say we have our work cut out for us, Kupo. Quaggy, you and the Fusiliers are to accompany the Liberator. I expect a detailed report on how my demands are received.
Oh, yes, General.
Well, for all as excitement as it was to see Fran, all in all, she's so far a very unlikable character.
Not that I expect them to be taken seriously. You are a fool to trust them, Princess.
I mean, we'll take them seriously, but you're asking for a lot. But we shall see. Oh, we're back. Do not be put off by Lady Friend. The General is quite the edge to her. But it is only because she wants what is best for the Resistance.
I finally come to terms. Come to accept me. Garner is gone for good. But I'll never forget how he met his end. I cannot allow my hate to consume me like be as it did him.
The General's not too bad once you get on the good side. And the only good side being a backside.
But you didn't hear that from me. Yup, weak now, Judge.
What an adventure, Kupo. Just think, by tomorrow we'll all be the newest members of the Dalmascan Resistance. Not that I'm ready to give up my place on the Prima Vista just yet.
Alright, so that's part 1. I think, if I remember correctly, there are 3 quests that make up the, well, finale to the Evilician raid storyline. So, this is 2 of 3, I think. Welcome to the Jungle. Now, I think the one after is basically what gets us to the raid. So, for now, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time for, what was it again? Welcome to the Jungle. Welcome to the Jungle. Bye bye.